Hey, Darren, just curious, how would you assess the offensive line in the first game?
I think as a whole, we did a lot better. We had a lot of improvement, I would say, especially I said last time, communication. So, obviously there was some things we can improve on as we're going to be working on this week to get ready for Texas.
You had to have some different guys come in and play different spots. Talk to me a little bit about kind of building off Nick's question, having to be able to deal with that adversity early on and kind of working with different guys up with the first team.
Yeah, I think for the O-line this year, I think a really key thing to our development has been our depth. You can see that through the spring, through the summer. So I would say we have a lot of people through the ones, through the twos who could play winning football. So I think we showed that early in the game.
Darren, from the Texas defensive line, what do you see from them? What makes them a unique team?
From the game that they just played last week, you can see they have a high motor. They have real big size, so definitely going to be a challenge for us this week. But, high motor, big size, they play really well, gave a lot of effort.
Charlie, on the right.
Being that this is a game on the road, just how important is communication, not only with you and Bryce, but the rest of the offensive line?
Yeah, it's going to be a loud game. We're ready for it. You work small stuff like cadence, communication, hand signals and stuff like that. Just because it may get loud, you may not be able to hear somebody. But it's definitely an important part of our preparation this week is communication amongst all levels on the offense.
Darrian, Coach Saban has talked throughout fall camp that he has confidence in all five running backs, and we got to see all five guys on Saturday night. What makes that group special and maybe easy to block for?
Yeah, I think what makes the group so special is just that everybody has their own things that they do really well. We have such great depth; they could all play winning football. It's a pleasure to block for each one of those guys, truly.
Up front with Tony.
Kind of going back to Charlie's question about the communication. When did you feel, I guess, really comfortable with dealing with that? As maybe sometime last year, was there a game? Was it maybe Florida or anything like that you felt more comfortable kind of taking that vocal role or handling that communication in a loud environment?
Yeah, I would say last year Florida was definitely like a first thing for me. It was my first time playing a true away loud game because of COVID. I would say I learned a lot from that, and throughout the next games I feel like our communication got better, not just from the offensive line standpoint, from the quarterback, from everywhere on offense.
Questions, Charlie?
You just mentioned the running backs, but how good was it to see both Jace and Roydell back after they obviously got injured last year?
It was really good. You get to see all the work they've put in, all the rehab that they've been putting in this past year. It was definitely a pleasure to see them go out there and perform how I know they wanted to.
James and Nick.
Coach Saban talked about, having loud noise at practice and kind of bringing speakers out there. What's that like for you? And kind of walk me through what the offensive line does during those practices.
Yeah, obviously as a center, I'm the one, making the calls, making the mic points to a certain extent. So I feel like it rests a lot on my shoulders to be able to get the offensive line in check, to be able to communicate what we should be doing as a unit at that time. So I would say my preparation for it is to be loud, to be vocal, and to be as commanding as I can for my group.
On the left with Nick.
We heard a bit from the guys yesterday about salt packets or sodium shots to kind of prepare for the heat. And how are you and the rest of the offensive line preparing for that part of the environment on Saturday?
Yeah, being the big guys, I feel like we have to prepare a little bit more. Like the sodium shots, the pills that they have to say, just keep hydrated. Maybe drinking an extra Pedialyte, extra water, extra Gatorade, just to keep the electrolytes in us. But the strength staff, the nutrition staff is definitely doing a great job in order to keep us hydrated for the game this week because we know it's going to be hot.
Follow up, Charlie.
You were the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. Just how would you assess your own performance in Week 1?
Yeah, it was a great honor to win that award. I know there were obviously some things I could work on, things I could get better at, but that was last week, and I think I'm just focused on this week being the best player I can for this game.
We'll finish up here with Tony.
Sorry to harp on this communication topic, but does your voice ever go out, or do you ever have a raspy voice after a big game like this where you're constantly shouting?
Yeah, sometimes the throat can get a little bit sore, but sometimes with tea and some honey can fix it. But yeah, sometimes you got to scream, but it's worth it to get communication all set.
All right, thanks, Darren.
Thank you.